The 2005 offseason, it's about to get started, everyone. Welcome back to the Raiders franchise and ESPN 2K5. We're going to start off with a little email from Al Davis. Don't know how he must have his intern or something work the email address for him, but anyway, he's sent over his goals, and look at the contract years, 2 years left. 2 years left, and I think if you hit your goals, the game extends you. I can't really remember. It's been a while since I've done a playthrough, just on my own time, but he's only given us 2 years, so we got to win more than 8 games. That's the outlook he has. So let's actually check out the goals altogether. Primary goals, win more than 8 games. Secondary is going to be improve the pass defense and achieve a rank of at least 15 in the league. So that's important. We got to do that if we want to keep playing. Got to keep going. So only 2 years left, and we got to hit the goals. My personal goal, I think we should win the division. That's what I want to do. I want to make sure we. Having to sit through and watch the Chiefs win the Super Bowl in the game and also in real life makes you want to be like, all right, we gotta step up here. Let's try and take over the division here, because that's getting enough of that. Broncos are still very good. They still have a strong roster. We can't sleep on them. And I mean, the Chargers are only going to get better with Phillip Rivers, and who knows what kind of moves they start to do in the offseason. So I think division is what my goal is at for this team. But Al Davis has a little lesser thoughts of just winning more than 8 games. So we already won 8 last year, so we just got to build off of that. But like I said, let's win the division. So to win the division, we have to look at our retirements. And I think we all know a couple names we're going to see retired, but let's check it out. Rod Woodson, Jerry Rice, Rich Gannon, and Chris Hetherington is going to be hanging up the jersey. Yeah, I definitely expected Rice, Woodson, and Gannon, that's for sure. As we see Woodson, he'll be definitely, wearing that gold jacket. Solid career, all the way back to the Steelers days. So glad to have him around for the Raiders to finish it up. Rice, of course, we sent him off on a nice year, almost 1,200 yards, 11 TDs. So we gave him a nice send-off. And then Mr. Gannon didn't have a great end of the career. A disappointing one. Didn't have a great 2004 year, and then on the very last game of the year, when we finally got to give him a nice send-away game, he gets a neck injury. So he couldn't get out of his neck injuries even in the game. So now it's going to be time to look at the re-signing room, as Al Davis's interns got him busy because he emailed us again and he wants to keep Woodson and Janikowski. All right, Al. Don't worry, calm down. We'll look at it. We'll look at everything. So here's the re-signing. So we got Woodson up, Janikowski up, Rudd up, Hamilton, Hambrick, Terrell, Gilbert Brown. Gilbert Brown was just like a guy signed early in the year as like a depth because we only had Ted Washington and Warren Sapp on our roster, so I just need that third guy. And John Owens, also a depth guy, got a tight end. But we might be keeping him because there is something I do like about him that we'll look at later. But first, I think we'll just go through all the positions and just see what we're working with. So starting with the QB room, all we have is Tua Sissoko and Kerry Collins. Here's the salary we got working with them. Kerry Collins, we still have 2 more years. It's going to be $15 million on our cap for right now. Contract of $15. If we get rid of him, it's going to be penalty of $3 million. So here's the predicament with Kerry Collins. You can't trade him because I'm going to be as super realistic with all this as I can with the franchise mode, because that's how I like to do it. So there's no damn way anybody is trading for Kerry Collins going into his, I don't know if they count, so going to his 11th year in the league, and a guy who's clearly been declining ever since the Giants 2000 Super Bowl run. So that's not going to happen. Trade is out the door. We're not doing that. I've got some house rules. That's certainly going to be one of them. We're not going to trade away like aging players like that, because that's just not going to happen. Now, we could cut them. So basically that's going to only save about $2 million. So looking at about $19 million in the cap. Sure. And then what? And then what do you do? We're stuck with Tua Sissoko. That's what we do. I mean, so right now, I'm going to keep him. We're going to leave him on the roster. He's going to stay there. He does still have good arm strength. I mean, good arm strength. Accuracy's awful. So right now, he's going to stay there. The QB room right now, we're going to leave it as is. Now let's go to the running back room. Hambrick, his contract is expiring. Thanks for coming, Hambrick. He's gone. Don't worry about that. So we got Zeraway and Fargas. Zeraway, I actually really liked the last couple weeks with Zeraway. I thought he actually played really well. Now, really well for this run game is 265 yards, but he averaged 4.2 yards a carry. I don't know. I think we'll definitely keep him around. Fargas, I want to keep around as well, especially since even if we cut him, we're going to lose money by cutting him. But then there's Tyrone Beat, who's also in his 11th year. 5 years left on his contract. He's got 1.5 on the cap, 11 million contract, but it's only going to be $750K if we cut him. So guess what? We lose money. So now we're going to have a running back room of Zeraway and Fargas as of right now. Moving on to fullbacks. Here's another definitely cut candidate, Zach Crockett, who, as a fullback, and this is what he gives us, 49 run block, 53 pass block. I really don't see the point of having him. I mean, 82 speed, I never really go fullback runs that often, if ever, quite honestly, just because as soon as you get it, you're right behind the guard that gets blown up. So Zach Crockett will be shedding off. It's time to shed some fat on this Oakland Raiders roster. So now for receivers, Jerry Porter, who's going to be going into his last year. There's a pot. I thought about maybe re-signing him now, but I think the best move is going to be leave it as is, and then let's see how the season goes. If we're doing poorly going into the trade deadline, he'll absolutely be a trade candidate. Absolutely. But so for now, we'll leave that as is. Tim Brown, our boy Tim Brown, future Hall of Famer. 86 catch, but he had so many freaking drops this season for some reason. I don't know if it says it here now, but he had a lot of drops. Open it back up. Speed's obviously declining. That's going to only go down because after this year, the ratings will reflect where everyone's at. So I think what we're going to do is release. It's not going to cost us. Really, it doesn't even cost much to be on the roster, but I think it's time to kind of move on. Let Tim Brown kind of sign with maybe a team like, somebody who's going to win now, in more win now mode than we are, more positioned to be. Maybe he can chase a ring. So we're going to let Tim Brown go. As of everybody else, they're pretty bad. Tuck K-Roll. Johnny Morant might have some sort of a bright future with us. He had some flashes for sure. Decent speed, okay catch. Francis is still a good special teams guy to keep around. At the end of the day, it's not going to cost us. It's not going to save us any money to cut him. So there's really no point of doing it. All we're going to really be doing is hurting our depth. So obviously, free agency and the draft, wide receiver is going to be important spot. Now for tight ends. Tight ends, I was so disappointed with what we got out of Doug Jolly. The amount of drops he got, it was just really painful. And he was getting open too. It felt like we were scheming our tight ends open pretty well, but then Doug Jolly would just show up and drop it. So, that being said, yeah, you can't cut him. And that's going to cost us money to really cut him. And even if we did cut him, then what do we still don't really, we don't have really much of a plan B as of now, at tight end position. All right, moving on to center. So we got Barrett Robbins. It's going to cost us money getting rid of them. Same with Adam True. What the heck? But, alright, so Robbins is, his numbers are still good. They're going to go down a little bit, I'm sure. So we're probably looking more at the low 80s, which is still solid. I'd still sign up for that. Obviously, 11th year, he's, retirement, we got to think of looking for the future, which Grove has potential there, good strength, so we'll definitely be keeping him around. I think right now I see the center room staying the same. And there's stupid Adam True, for some reason we have to have him stuck around, because if I get rid of him, that's going to cost us money, and I don't really know what else to do with him, so he'll just kind of stay there. So center position, we'll have plenty of depth that I don't see doing much there. Leading us to guards, we still have Mo Collins and Ron Stone. Ron Stone's still good at path. He's going to go down probably the mid-70s. Same with, so probably mid-70s is what he'll be at, I'm assuming. Which will take his rating down. Mo Collins, still good pass block. He'll probably be mid-80s and mid-70s at run block. Neither really, Badger's going to cost us money if we cut him. Middleton, that really doesn't do anything to cut him. So I see us keeping guards for now, but certainly the draft could be an option of adding a much younger guy. But for now, nothing there, and we'll do no changes. Tackle, we got Robert Gallery coming up on his last year. Barry Sims, 77, jeez. Oof, look how much, oh god, look how much that would cost us too if we cut him. So I can't really do anything about that. Still get, Gallery will get better. He should be our future tackle. Sims can still probably give us, he probably won't rest that much. So he can still give us a couple good years. So I see tackle position for right now staying the same. Alright, so D tackle, Gilbert Brown. He can go. We're done with that. So then that leaves us with Ted Washington and Warren Sapp. Both huge contracts. Actually, Ted, could get rid of Ted. Not going to give us, it's only going to give us, not much of a difference. Not going to really matter. So, D tackle, another position I think will be staying the same. Don't see much there. Maybe if the season's not going well, we trade Warren Sapp. But I don't see any reason to do that right now. I don't know if, yeah. I think we'll be keeping that the same for right now. Leaves us D end. And the front seven is really what I want to focus on this offseason. One of the big spots I would love to kind of revamp. So Bobby Hamilton, he's on his 10th year. He's, speed's down to 54. Yeah, goodbye. Thanks. We don't need that. I want speed on our DN. I want speed everywhere. It's going to be kind of like what the Raiders try to do a lot with speed, except we're playing a video game and it'll actually work better than real life, but we're going with speed everywhere, baby. So Perella, there's not much. I'm not really going to say much. So Cooper, we could look to move him. I might be cutting him. I'm not entirely sure just yet. I think I'd have to see a little more what free agency looks to shape up to be. If there's a soft spot we need to save more money at. For now, we'll keep him. We'll keep this DN room just like this, leaving us to outside linebacker. Yeah, he saves a good amount of money. We're gonna go ahead and DeLawrence is gonna be gone. So now we're up to $21 million. Inside the linebacker, Dwayne Rudd. I don't see sticking him around. And just nothing. It's just not really that inspiring. About to go in his 10th year, I guess. We got some. Napoleon Harris, I thought, had flashes. Wasn't, I think we're gonna go with. We're not gonna. Yeah, Dwayne Rudd. We'll let him walk. So now here's our cornerback room, and here's the big guy, Charles Woodson, looking to get paid, of course. But let's take a look at everybody else. Our Walker actually gets a lot of money. Corner is so tough to replace in this game, though. That I will say. The corners are always pretty low rated. It's really hard to find anybody, even over 88, 85 in this game. So, real quick, let's just move on to safeties. Gibson, I mean, I'll keep Gibson around for now because, once again, what are we going to do instead? 91 speed, still pretty good. We have David Terrell, backup free safety. Certainly not really thrilled to be paying him really not much money, so we're just going to go ahead and cut ties with him. I definitely would love to keep him because kicker is another one that's really hard to keep consistent. So let's see. He's looking for 7 years. Thinking about 5 would be good, actually. Yeah. Let's get him down to right where the. Which leaves us with Charles Woodson, the big guy who's going to be looking for a lot of money, and I think is going to be well deserved. I mean, we can see he's still putting up good numbers, so I think we have really no choice, in my opinion. We're gonna pay him. That's just going to be it. So looking to give him about 28.3.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
We got him. We got our man. So Charles Woods is going to stick around. And this is what we're going to let Rudd go. It's not going to let me get rid of him because it doesn't let you go under 42 players. But we can. That's not a problem. We just simulate it and we'll go through. And that is it for the re-signing period. So we're going to be on to free agency. So right off the bat, big free agent, Kurt Warner. As you can see, Arizona and Dallas is involved as well. You know, we're looking, try to put in an offer. This would have to be what it would have to be to sign him. And as you can see, the cap room would be at $2.96 million. Not really what I was looking to do here. We didn't put this offer in, I was just looking at it, but we did put in offers right away on James Ferrier, 3 years at $6 million, and Jesse Armstead on the outside linebacker, 4.7 for 2 years. But as for Kurt Warner, might be sitting out on Kurt. I think that might be the smarter move. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and advance. Let's see what we got. All right, so Kurt hasn't decided yet. But we did land Ferrier in order to the Texans, and Chargers go ahead and land Okafor coming off his 14-sack season. So, interesting signing for the Chargers there. They're also looking like they're interested in Mason. That's definitely not something we're going to pull the trigger on, especially just for 1 year. But looking around the league, Troy Brown getting interest from the Chiefs. So yeah, Kurt's still hanging in there. I think we're going to sit out on that though. Looking around though, I do like this look of Heath Evans over here. This is a fullback that actually can block, unlike Zach Crockett at 49. I think this could be a solid piece at fullback. Fullback's not something. I mean, we do a lot of offset eyes and stuff, so maybe we can get him a little involved as well in this offense. So I'm going to go ahead, put in an offer for Heath here. There we go. Give it right $7 million. Carlos Hall is also what I was looking at here. Be around 4 years. Drop down that salary a bit more. 7.3. So that goes 4.28 is not what I want, but there is a couple more options we do have to cut a few more guys to free up some cap. One of them involving a trade that I actually kind of like. So we're gonna go ahead, offer Carlos right here 6.7, gives him $1 million a year, 4.3. Could certainly be a solid pass rusher. He's still young, at only 4 years in the league. We're gonna offer that. And let's go over, well, let's see if we get Carlos Hall first. Carlos Hall signs, Heath Evans signs, Jesse Armstead signs. So we've got a couple. James Ferrier, of course, we saw. There's a couple guys decent. Let's see around the league here. So Kurt goes with the Cardinals, even though Dallas offered a little bit more. Patriots just signed a couple. Nottenberg with David Thornton to the Broncos. There's our guys. Travis Taylor to the Bengals. David Ross to the Vikings. Charles Lee. Not too crazy. Jeremiah Trotter, Patrick Surtain to the Saints. Wayne Rudd lands with the Rams, and Tim Brown lands with the Pats. Darren Howard. Okay. Jimmy Sharper becomes a Giant. Troy Brown becomes a Chief, and Derek Mason becomes a Charger. That'll be interesting with Ogunleye. So Ogunleye and Sean Ellis of Bengal. Ogunleye and who was it? Yeah, Okafor. Both become Chargers. Interesting. The Chargers go pretty heavy in free agency. We need to get some cap back, because this is not going to be enough to sign our free agents. I might actually go back. I mean, we don't have any penalty to cut. Owens, that is certainly on the table. Just cut that and get $1 million back. I think I might do that. As much as I liked the run block and pass block, and we got no penalty to do it, I might as well do that. There we go, $4 million back. That didn't work. Oh well, that's what happens. A good thing we have no penalty for that. But here's what I was looking at. Since now we got Perella, cutting him doesn't save much, but we could get rid of Cooper, who's going on his last year. Still young, still could contribute to another team. So that's why I think what makes sense is to trade him to a team that needs the end, needs at least a second D end. Redskins. I think the one I think made more sense would be if we go over to Green Bay. Only has Bialmia. We could go 3rd, 4th, and we give up our 5th. Yeah, 3rd and 4th. Yeah, let's do this. We're gonna go Cooper in our 5th for Green Bay's 3rd and 4th. And we got that. So now here's what we're looking at. We're looking at the 20th pick. I'm gonna break that down a little more before the draft or end of this video of our whole draft board, because we really haven't gone too much into what the draft looks like. That'll be very interesting, as you'll see, but we do have our 1st, 2nd round, 2 3s now, and 2 4s. Oh yeah, there's one more cut I think we need to make. That's going to be Walker, our Walker. That can save up a little more salary. That probably gets us comfortably at, $6 million, so, I think that makes sense. It's time for Asamoah and Buchanan to step up right behind Woodson. I think getting rid of Narwhal here makes a lot of sense. There we go. So now $6.97 million. I think that's pretty healthy to an extent going into the draft. And I know right now we haven't addressed the quarterback, but I have an idea. I'm going to play around with it off screen, and then we'll see.
I have a plan. You just have to trust me.
So here's what we're going to give up for John Kitna. That's right. John Kitna could be our answer. At least for the short term. Most certainly at least short term. So still okay arm strength and accuracy. Still there. 26 and 15 last year before they took before Kurt Warner came in. Oh wait, no, that's 2003. My bad. But before Palmer came in. So I think this would make a lot more sense for them, because then they could just at least they get something in return for Kitna rather than just letting him go, and then it's just the Palmer show. Palmer already started all last year anyway, so yeah, it's up to 30 TDs. So this will make sense for the Bengals getting some return, and it makes sense for us potentially getting some help finally, some sort of short-term answer at quarterback. So now what we're gonna do? Gary Collins. Hardly knew ya. Goodbye. Now we're back to $6 million, and here's our QB room. Kitna and Tua Sissoko sitting there pretty. Not bad. We still have a wide receiver 2 to address, which I think I see somebody here. Hopefully it's not going to cost much in our cap. Todd Pinkston. Okay. Let's see if we could play around. I want to see if I can get him short term here. Yeah, let's go with this. We're going to give Pinkston 4.2 now. Yeah, 4.22 for Pinkston. Backload the contract. Going to leave us right at $5 million. I think that is the absolute minimum, I can leave for draft picks. So we're going to offer that for Pinkston. Get some help at wide receiver 2. Still not horrible numbers for him. That's going to be definitely a complimentary guy, not a long term, but I think that's a good short-term answer. All right, so here's what we're looking at as a recap of our free agency. Pinkston signed, Carlos Hall signed, Heath Evans, Jesse Armstead, James Ferrier, and Owens actually we ended up cutting just to get some more money, but that's what we're looking at for free agency. And we'll look at our trades here. We traded Cooper for a third and fourth, and gave him up our 5th to the Packers. And then the big one, John Kitna for a third, next year's third and 6th, which meant we terminated Kerry Collins. And if you see there, he became a Cowboy. Also, a big trade to note here, Edgerrin James finding a home in Motown, as we see here. So a couple picks are going to be sent to the Colts. This year's 2nd, 3rd, and 5th, as well as next year's 1st and 4th go to the Colts. Also to note, so the Giants don't have a 1st and a 5th. That's to the Chargers. Just want to make sure that reflected from the Eli trade in 04. Also, Dallas in 04 traded with the Bills to get their 1st-round pick for 2005. So I have that in there as well. Not going to go too crazy with all those prior trades, but these were 2 1st-round picks. So I just want to make sure we had that reflected in our draft. Free agency is winding down. I don't see us doing any more moves. That was kind of our first wave. We're already as tight as it could possibly be in our cap for our draft signings, because that might mean we need to cut some guys just to sign our players, just to sign the draft picks. I'm not sure yet. We'll have to see how it's going to go. Still have a couple. We definitely obviously have needs and depth needs, but we're going to have to address that in the draft. Hopefully we'll be all set and ready to go.
SportsCenter.
Welcome, everyone, to a special NFL offseason report here on ESPN. Trey Wingo here to get you all squared away with what's been going on since we left you after the Pro Bowl a few months back. Coming up, we'll set you straight on all the offseason player movement and see who went where. Then later, we'll call on ESPN's NFL draft expert Mel Kiper Jr. to get the lowdown on the upcoming NFL Combine and, of course, to get his opinions on the upcoming draft in April. But first, let's kick things off here by taking a look at the guys in the last few months that have decided to call it a career in the NFL. Rod Woodson has finally decided to hang him up after playing hard in this league for a lot of years. He admitted at his going away that Father Time has finally caught up to him and the game has passed him by. In the final analysis, this was someone that the league will be sad to see go because he truly loved to play the game. Troy Vincent also called it quits this offseason, and he too is a guy that'll be missed around NFL circles. Aeneas Williams was really quite a presence in the National Football League. The former Pro Bowler decided he'd had enough, though, so his career is over. All told, he winds up with 15 seasons under his belt, and at his press conference, he broke down talking about how difficult it'll be not to be in the locker room on Sunday. I wouldn't be surprised to see a coaching job in his future. Grady Jackson has also, as you see, decided to call it a career. Now, he too was a guy that played with a lot of emotion out there, but he decides he's had enough. Meanwhile, with NFL free agency becoming more and more competitive by the year, a number of teams had to scramble to find cap room to re-sign their own free agents, as we see here. Chris McAllister decides to remain on board with his existing club, and he'll be rewarded handsomely for doing so. 6 years, $41.2 million, plus a $28.8 million signing bonus. So this obviously a key signing for him, as they'll keep him in the fold for the next 5 seasons. Chad Pennington will also be staying at his old address for a while, as he's locked up for the next 6 seasons. Matt Hasselbeck decides to stay right where he is, as he is locked up 7 years, $38.0 million. On top of that, a $26.6 million signing bonus. Corey Simon will also be staying at his old address for a while, as he's locked up for the next 6 seasons. Take it away, Mel.
Well, Trey, we're going to break down a few players that I think are really going to open some eyes when the Combine kicks off. Player. Looks like he'll be one of the top players selected, and there's little doubt why. 6 feet, 223, out of Auburn. This is a guy that really put it all together in college last year. Some questions about his speed, but we should perhaps get those questions answered at the Combine. We'll see. Player is also a guy to keep an eye on. His numbers from the Combine will tell a lot, so he looks to be the kind of guy that's going to draw a lot of interest come draft day. And then, after the top picks are gone, people are always asking about the guys I think are the sleepers in the draft. And I really believe that there are going to be some quality prospects out there that for one reason or another are going to fall to the later round. Player is a guy that could slip, but here's a late bloomer that really came on strong in the latter stages of the season, and a good workout could open a few eyes. Carlson could also improve his standings with a strong showing, and in my opinion, he will have a strong showing. Solid fundamentals, hard worker, and a good attitude. Could be a great late-round pickup. So there's just a handful of guys that bear watching over the coming week. I'll be back with more as draft day approaches. Till then, I'm Mel Kiper Jr.
So as you saw from Mel's preview, we do have the 2005 draft class. It isn't everybody. I think it only goes up to 4 rounds. I painstakingly edited all these guys through this. So all the guys, they look, same colleges, obviously, same size, everything. I even did their uniforms and everything. It took a little while, but yep, it's totally worth it. So we got everybody in here. Only goes up to 4 rounds. I used the 2005, their 2005 Madden ratings for their ratings, so they all have that. I even play tested to make sure when the ratings are finalized that nobody's too crazy good, nobody's too crazy bad. I think everyone's right in line with what their expectations were as a rookie. So I'm pretty excited. This is something I haven't done before, so this will be new. Just wanted to have a little authenticity to the ratings. And another wrinkle, you may have picked up on it before, but I have control of all the teams. That's right. I have been pulling the strings. I have been doing free agencies, re-signings, everything for everyone. And don't worry, I have been totally hard on the Raiders. Like, I'm not doing anything stupid, like, trading away, I don't know, just not being fair at all. No, not even close to the case. If anything, I went really aggressive with the Chargers because the Chargers had a lot of cap. So I thought it made a lot of sense for them to start to kind of get going with, they have, what's his name, Phillip Rivers on a rookie deal. So yeah, that's why I went ahead and got Okafor for them, Ogunleye for them, Mason for them. I also went ahead and restructured LaDainian's contract because it was coming up, so they have him re-signed. But the real reason I wanted to control all of the teams is because if you don't know, there is a bug in ESPN 2K5 where the first round, the CPU only picks defensive ends, running backs, and quarterbacks. I think that's it. Oh, and tackles. So that's all they pick. So that would have drove me off so the Chargers have the first pick, right? And Ronnie Brown's the overall guy. It would have driven me off the freaking wall to see them pick Roddy Brown, which they absolutely would have done. They obviously don't need to do that because they got LaDainian Tomlinson, and that would have just sucked having to sit back and watch that. And just the CPU in general, I wish I could open up Bell's mock, but it won't. For some reason the game crashes, probably because of maybe something to do with the, what's it called, the rookies edited, I don't know, but yeah, would have driven me freaking nuts. Guys would have passed on, quarterback needy teams probably would have passed on, like Rodgers and Smith. It would have sucked. So I said, screw it. I'm going to take over. So I am taking over this draft. And like I said, don't worry. I'm not going to go easy at all on our Raiders. I'm going to still keep this challenging and fair and realistic. All right, so here's what our QB room looks like going into the draft. John Kitna and Tua Tagovailoa. We're definitely looking to add a rookie QB in the draft. I can tell you that. Our running back room looks like this. Just Fargas and Zeroway. We're definitely going to be looking to add someone in the draft as well. Fullback, we signed Heath Evans. I'm very happy with that. I think that's a solid signing for us. We're going to keep that there. For wide receiver Porter, we signed Pinkston. Pinkston could definitely complement Porter. I would like to see add somebody in the draft. I'm not going to force it necessarily, but we should look to somebody in the draft for another receiver. Tight end, I would like to do drafts as well, but the draft class for tight end is so weak. So weak. I mean, all it is like Heath Miller, and that's kind of it. Center, yeah, probably not going to do much there. If there's someone there, maybe, but guard would be nice. There's tackles, all the same. D-tackle, we need some depth at D-tackle, that's for sure. D-end, we went ahead and signed Carlos Hall. We traded away Cooper, got another pick out of him. But that would be nice to get another D-tackle, or D-end for sure, especially with Perella. Look at big boy Perella. He looks like he's just ready to open up a Italian pizza shop at this point. We should probably let him go do that because he's not bringing much here. We went ahead and signed Jesse Armstead at outside linebacker. Everything else still the same. We got James Ferrier. I'm actually really happy for James Ferrier. I always liked him for some reason. I don't know why. There's just something about those early 2000 Steelers Ds. And then corner. We got a little thin at corner because I did cut Walker, but this is what we're looking at there. We could definitely look to add another corner. Strong safety looks like this. Gibson, and then Buchanan at free safety, and then we still have Sebastian and Shane as our punter and kicker. So with $5 million going into the draft, I think that's going to do it for this episode. As we'll do part 1 and part 2, and we are going to go into the draft in the next episode. So, get ready.